You ever go to a party and they're like, so what do you do? Weird shit.
This is gonna be a dirty video. I'm about to commit a terrible plant crime. I'm gonna dig up some of my favorite plants to show you what their roots look like so you can see exactly how to get the most out of dividing your plants without hurting them too badly. Sometimes it's hard to understand what's really going on when we're dividing our plants. When you get a good look at the roots, it starts to make a lot more sense. Today I'm gonna be dividing wild geranium to show you an example of how to divide a plant with rhizomes. Not only that, but I'm also going to show you the roots of an aromatic aster and Pennsilvania sedge. Two plants that have smaller rhizomes that are a little bit harder to see. But I promise, once you get a good look at the roots, you're gonna understand exactly how to make more and more plants from what you already have. Let's get it. Okay, so I have 3 rules for dividing plants. Number 1, bigger divisions will lead to bigger and more mature plants. When you divide a large plant into 2 medium-sized plants, you still have some sizable, mature plants. They're probably still gonna even bloom that year. Number 2, more smaller divisions are gonna just lead to more plants in the long run. So if I divide a large plant into 10 small plants, that's a lot of plants, but they're small. So they're gonna take another year to sort of catch up. They're probably not gonna bloom the same year. Flowers take up a ton of energy. They have to offer sugar in the form of nectar. They offer fats and proteins in the form of pollen for the bees and pollinators. Plants also lose a ton of water through their flowers. So it's very energy intensive. A small young plant without a lot of stored energy sends up solar panels, aka leaves. They absorb that light from the sun and then they draw it down into their underground battery. Sometimes it takes a whole season for these solar panels to store enough energy to decide they're gonna make a flower. Basically, tiny plants need a minute. Number 3, it's almost always better to divide plants when they're dormant. That means in the spring, fall, or even the winter. If it's growing and then you divide it, the plant was trying to do one thing and now we're having it do something else. That disturbance causes more stress on the plant and it might not be as successful in its new home. Dividing plants seems like a pretty easy concept. You just dig up the plant, cut it in half, you got 2 plants. I've even divided them with a shovel without digging out the whole plant. The problem is, as plants do look different above the ground, they also look different below the ground. When you dig out a grass or something that has spreading fibrous roots, like asters, bee balm, or black-eyed Susans, you can divide it pretty much any way you want. You can even imagine that the roots of a black-eyed Susan are kind of like these like pull apart Japanese milk buns are kind of the visual that I'm getting. But some plants have rhizomes, like wild geranium, irises, Virginia bluebells. These plants look like this underground. If you take a shovel the wrong way to the rhizomes, you can injure the plant and it affects how many divisions you can get. So I'm gonna dig up a couple of different kinds of plants with different kinds of roots so you can really see the structure underground and like understand inside why we're cutting it the way we are. Side note, of course, all of these plants can be propagated by seed. And that's really good for the diversity of the genes in the garden. When you make a division, you make a clone of that plant. So usually the division doesn't have different genetics than the parent plant. They're the exact same plant. Obviously in the garden, we do want to have as much diversity as possible, but this is still a fantastic way to get results really quickly. Plant gods, forgive me for what I'm about to do. Now the plants aren't gonna like me when I do this, but for me, it was so important that I understand the root structure before just hacking away at it. By the way, if you're having a good time, go ahead and take this opportunity to subscribe to the channel so we can empower more people to start gardens on their own and expand the ones they have. So you wouldn't really know it, but here it is, the wild geranium. All you can see right now are the stems, but that will point us to where we need to go. Because we've had an extremely warm early spring, you can kind of see that they're poking up a little bit. So that tells us exactly where we're gonna dig. So I'm just pulling the mulch away here so that you can see a little bit more clearly where our plant is. I can hear that I'm biting into some roots here, which I don't really like because I don't want to harm the shrubs that are around it. It's for a good cause. The plants will forgive me. I'm being very generous with this. You don't really have to cut out such a big piece, but I really just want to show you what it looks like under there. Wild geranium has really good roots, but it's not a prairie plant, so it's not like it has the biggest root system you've ever seen. Oh, there's a little buggo. All right. Well, here it is. So I'm very excited to show us what it looks like without all this dirt. Because right now it just kind of looks like a little Squiddo spaceship. Okay, so I have a bowl with some water. Just gonna place it in the water. I'm not gonna leave it here for too long. I'm just doing this so that I can loosen up some of the clay. Just let it soak for a little bit so that I can rinse it off to show you exactly what the rhizomes look like. Now let's go look at something else. Now here's a nice aromatic aster, and you know, it just looks like a mess right now. Now you can see all these little leaves down here. Each of these is going to be connected to a rhizome. Now I swear this is just one plant, but as you can see right here, it's spreading out. Right there. That's a rhizome or a runner, horizontal stem that just goes sideways and then the plant comes up from it. So if there's space, light, nutrients, it will just keep expanding. These get huge and you can probably remove 2/3 of it every year, keep it the same size. These things have some intense roots. So you can look at that. Really pretty. I'm gonna do the same here. I'm gonna wash these roots. Forgive me, but this is a tough plant. It's gonna be fine. Dirt soup. And our last one, Pennsilvania Sedge. I sort of threw this in a bucket in the end of the season. Oh, it's big. It's a big one. Now I'm hoping this one's pretty easy to see because you have what looks like a big grass. This is a sedge. And I back it up here. You see little pups almost that are sort of coming out. I'm going to use my favorite garden tool, the steak knife. Nobody tell my husband. I'm going to take this whole piece so we can see how they string together. Look at those roots. Sedges have amazing roots. Look at this, Pennsilvania sedge. This is going to go in the dirt soup, and then we'll take a look at it in a couple of hours. Beautiful. I feel like I should have planned this out a little bit better. Bon appetit. Here we go. Got it on autofocus. I'll try to make sure it's focused. I'm working with an iPhone here, so, you know, give me a break. These are the rhizomes right here. This is the top. This is what we saw when we were digging it up. We dug around in a circle here, and these are all the rhizomes from the whole plant. And now when I turn it on its side, you'll see, what's this? These are the roots. This is very different from the rhizomes. The roots go down into the ground and they soak up water and nutrients from the soil, anchor the plant in there, and bring the plant everything it needs. These rhizomes are kind of like for storage of nutrients and carbohydrates, and they also help the plant divide asexually, which means that it's not by seed, it's growing sort of by clone. So if you pop off any one of these, it's going to be a clone. So what I'm seeing is a central rhizome, a big one right there in the center, and all these are sort of coming off of the center. This right here is where it's growing. This is a major growing point, and then you're going to see right here, let's see if it'll focus. These are little stems that are growing up, and this pink, it looks like a flower. It's actually not a flower. This is the leaf of Geranium maculatum, wild geranium. It's growing up here, and you can see, why is it pink? Well, our native plants know that our springtime is kind of volatile. It can be really hot and really cold. This pink color is a way for the plant to protect itself from harsh cold and sun when the leaves are small. So you'll see a lot of North American native plants will have red or pink leaves when they start. This is kind of how it's oriented in the ground. If this is the sky and this is the dirt, you know, we've got these roots that go down. The roots are always going down, and the rhizomes usually go across. You can see this rhizome right here at the end. It wants to send up more leaves. So these are going to want to send up leaves at the end. This rhizome is almost ready to kind of come off. And I'm just going to pull gently and see if, yeah, there we go. And there's our first division. If I were to plant this, I would plant it with the roots going down. I would dig like a shallow kind of groove and then have these roots going down, and the rhizome would be going across. So this is important to know because if you're going to divide this, you can just kind of stick a shovel down the center and then break that rhizome up, but you really don't know what you're going for sometimes. Or maybe you divide it right here and then these break off, but they're too small. So this is really just one way to get to know your plant and where to make the divisions. And I'm going to do these by hand. So let's see if some of them want to come off. This one up here, that's okay. So it's got a root there. I'm going to try, the roots have been damaged because I've been washing this. You're not supposed to do that. These are the roots going down. You can kind of see that there's 2 rhizomes on this. I don't have to break this up. I can just leave it intact. This is a bigger piece, and then so having these 2 connected to this piece is going to give it more energy. And I don't need to maximize how many I'm growing. Like I always say, I'm not a professional nursery, so I don't need to maximize all the little parts that I can take. I'm just going to put these underground, and then when I plant it, I'll put this on the top. I'll plant it just like that and cover it gently with soil, and I'm not going to bury this deep, and I'm not going to put it in a hole. I'm going to have this part on the surface and this part going down into the hole. Okay, so that's really what I want to emphasize here is that we've got rhizomes on the top and that they're different from the roots. The roots need to be buried deep in the soil and the rhizomes go on top. Let's see, we've got a piece here. And I will hear some breakage here, but it's not going to be too bad. See, because these rhizomes have their own roots. Now, when you plant a division like this, you have to have roots attached. Otherwise, the rhizome is going to have a really hard time growing. Really want to make sure that you don't plant anything that just has no roots. I am really trying, guys. I am really trying with this, with the focus. Okay. And you just look at it from the sides. This is the part you bury. This is the part that goes across the soil. So I'm just breaking these off gently right there. I'm just kind of moving things around to see if there's anything that's really attached. If it's really attached, I'm just gonna leave it. But if it feels like maybe it's ready to go, oh, see, this is a very small one. So this one's gonna take a while to grow back, but it does have roots. Carefully, I'm gonna plant this one. This one's pretty small. I can put this back where I got it from. And yeah, it'll be smaller. It's gonna be mad at me because I messed with it. Sorry about that, buddy. We'll check on you in a few months and see how you're doing. Let's find out how many I got. 11, 12, 13 clones. So that's pretty good, right? Maybe all of them will make it. This was like a medium-sized plant. I planted this as a plug last year, and so this is how big it grew. So you can see how generous our native plants really are. Okay, now that I've made a big mess, let's make an even bigger one. Here's our aster. So here's the structure. Look at all those roots down there. You have a lot of fibrous roots, a lot. These feel like rope, like twine almost. Then you've got some taproots. Here's the rhizome. So this looks different. This looks different than what we had. We had like almost some tubers there, some rhizomes with a lot of meat to them. And then this one is just basically a sideways stem that comes up here, and then there's the leaf. This is gonna be a little easier to divide, but it is pretty tough. Let's take a look. There we go. Again, look at this red stem because our native plants are aware that it is very cold. When it's little tiny stems, it knows that it's vulnerable and it needs to have that red pigment. And I'm just kind of moving it apart. Very fibrous, and so I'm struggling a little bit to get it out because I don't want to really rip them, but they're just tangled. There we go. Okay, so here's the old stem. There's the roots down there, and here's the rhizome that goes to the side, right? So if you were to plant this, you know how to plant it. You got the roots down. Look at how long those roots are. You put the roots down, and then you've got the stem and these rhizomes like that. This is gonna be a healthy aster. It's obviously gonna have to recover from being manhandled. Let's see if we have any more. I have 2 stems up here, and I wonder if I can just kind of pull them apart. Okay, I did break it right there. So that was broken off there, but this has its own root system, rhizomes and leaves. Here's a nice taproot. This is gonna survive. Let's see if we have any more. I'm just gonna pull this apart. So if you be nice to them and just they're tangled together, they're not attached all the time. They're just attached at that one spot. There we go. All right, looks like we got 3 pieces here. All right, we got this small piece, which I wouldn't even say it's small. Look at those really good roots. That's not small. Here's that medium-sized piece. Here's a big piece. I would plant it, you know, with the stem pointing up, the roots pointing directly down, kind of like in an L shape. I wouldn't plant it like this. I wouldn't bury it. I would leave these up here, and that's right where I would bury it. I would bury it right there and let this kind of go down at a 45-degree angle. And then look at this. This is going to become a whole other plant 4 inches away from the mother plant. So you can see how these get really big really fast. It's just a really resilient plant. So how many did I get here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got 5 plants from that cutting. So that's not bad. Delicious. If this didn't record, I'm gonna cry. There's our Pennsilvania sedge. All right, so I just kind of pulled that apart. There we go. Here's where the leaves come up. Looks kind of like a grass. And then here's a rhizome. Some short rhizomes here. They're not really ready yet. And then here's all the roots that go down. These fibrous roots go deep into the soil. Let's see these that are still attached. 1 clump here, and then we have another clump right there, and they're attached by rhizomes. So I'm just gonna take this and pull this apart. Oh, these roots are fibrous. Now we have 2. So if I were to plant this, how would I plant it? With the roots down into the ground. This actually doesn't go too deep. This is kind of a spreading sideways plant. But the roots would be in the ground. I wouldn't bury it up to here where the leaves are. I would just bury this part down here. And then these right here are the rhizomes. They're gonna go across the soil and they're gonna send up another shoot. Now, if I want to, I can probably find a place to divide this bigger one. So if I were in a nursery and I wanted to make 80 plugs, I would be separating all of these, put them in a little plug and grow them. What I'm doing is I'm just pulling it gently to see if there's any give. And I feel like these 2, they're not quite ready because I'm pulling on them and I'm getting a lot of resistance. Whoop! All right, so that tiny one can be planted. You can plant this. This is not a problem. If you are looking to expand your garden and you're on a budget and you only have 5 of these, guess what? Now you have 25. Or 50 if you know how to do this. See, I pulled this one off and this isn't really the best thing that I did. It does have a root still, so that will probably grow. That's how you divide Pennsilvania sedge. And now from those 2 clumps, 1, 2, 5, 6. I hope that this was helpful so that you can see the rhizomes and you can see how to divide plants for yourself. When you're beginning in your garden, sometimes it can be really overwhelming. Native plants really like to be planted close together. If it's not in the budget to plant 1,000 plants to cover 1,000 square feet, these are some other things that you can do. Okay, so hopefully this will make sense. Sometimes with the camera, you can't really tell depth of field very well. Here's my rhizome that I'm gonna put in the ground here. I'm gonna make a little trench. So you notice that I'm not just digging a hole and then sticking it in the hole. So I'm gonna make room for these rhizomes. There we go. And I wanna dig deep enough to let those roots kind of get into the soil already. So it's not too deep. So these roots are gonna go down into the ground. Like that. We're gonna cover up the roots. Make sure the roots are really under there. You can see this rhizome on the top here. Now, if that were like a bearded iris, I would probably leave it like this, but that's not how Geranium maculatum is. They are buried. And so we will bury them very shallowly so that they can still kind of figure out where the sun is. And there we go. And the little rhizome there, we'll just cover them up. So here's my sedge with all these roots. And I'm gonna spread these roots out. There we go. Here's where we dug up the original geranium. Fill it in a little bit. We don't need a big hole because we're just planting what's left after we did all those divisions. So that's quite a bit smaller. Sorry, bro. We're just gonna fill in those roots there. Make sure the roots are properly underground. And then these are still gonna be covered a little bit. I like to cover the rest of the area with some mulch. And we'll see him in a few weeks. In the meantime, I'm going to plant some more of these rhizomes. I'll come back and make a video about how these plants have grown. But for now, if you're looking for more ways to propagate plants, you might want to check out this video here.